Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP and the XRP ledger are not what toxic Bitcoin maximalists think it is. I mean, that's true for some of them anyway, and for the rest, it's exactly what they think it is, but they lie about it anyway out of fear, and because they have absolutely no personal integrity. Of course, there are some people that are legitimately clueless, but they're few and far between, and we're going to talk exactly about that. Here's a headline from you today. Major amendment goes live on XRP Ledger, and this is fantastic. They're talking about the Clawback amendment. And apparently this means XRP and the XRP Ledger is centralized. That's what crypto influencer Wendy O is asserting. Here's Wendy O's account on X, 415,500 followers. What category does she fall into? XRP derangement syndrome individual? Toxic Bitcoin maximalist? Or just ignorant? Well, I think she just, honestly, I could be wrong. I think she just doesn't know what she's talking about. And she's sharing this information with a large audience. I could be wrong. I think she just doesn't know what she's talking about. And she has a really bad take. And she had Ripple, at least one Ripple employee and a former Ripple employee explain to her why she's disastrously wrong. But she wrote here, XRP Ledger is no longer decentralized. And she shared this headline from an article. XRP Ledger Clawback goes live in boost for Ripple USD trading. Now, when I saw that, I actually laughed. And the reason that I laughed is because I thought, legitimately, I swear to God, I thought that she was joking. Because it's so absurd to say, it's that absurd to have that opinion. I laughed because I was like, oh, that's hilarious. It's like, what did I think of that? I should type that. I should share that post with my followers on X. And then I found out she was serious. As you can see here, because somebody wrote to her, do you even know what this is? Please don't spread FUD. This is not for XRP. She said, yes, as I covered it today, this is not decentralization, and that's okay. So it means XRP Ledger is no longer decentralized, but she also thinks that's fine, which is ridiculous. And she shared that sentiment in multiple posts. She really does think this is an indicator, like proof that XRP and XRP Ledger are actually centralized. I kid you not. So let's run through this. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so the headline here again from you today, major amendment goes live on XRP Ledger. So let's briefly run through part of this. The AMM Clawback Amendment has officially gone live on the XRP Ledger, according to XRP Scan. The XRP Ledger's clawback feature makes it possible to recover tokens even after they were sent to the account. For instance, if the recipient of the tokens is associated with illicit activity, they could be recovered if such a feature is enabled by the issuer. Now, tokens with the clawback feature enabled on them can be used on the XRP Ledger's native automated market maker, or AMN for short. Such an amendment is vital for regulatory compliance. Ripple, the issuer of RLUSD stablecoin, will now be able to claw back the tokens if they end up being involved in fraudulent activities. Now, to be clear, this does not impact XRP itself. Nobody has control over XRP. XRP cannot be clawed back. This is for if there's somebody who issues their own token and they have set parameters that will be publicly known, then under specific circumstances, they can be clawed back. And typically it would be due to regulatory requirements. This is good. This is advancement for the decentralized XRP Ledger. That's it in a nutshell. And so all of us level-headed people are celebrating. Because, it doesn't change anything about how the XRP Ledger itself functions. The decentralized nature of it, it's still fully intact. Right? It's for, if you, like for instance, if you want to create your own coin on the XRP Ledger, you can create your own token, and then you can have it designed in such a way that it's effectively centralized. That doesn't mean the XRP Ledger is then centralized. Of course not. That would be a dumbass take. And so here you had XRP Scan highlighting this. The AMM Clawback Amendment is now live on the mainnet. And I saw from somebody, this is probably true, I just didn't fact check it, but that ended up getting approved with over 90% of validators voting yes, over 90%. So this post was then reposted by David Schwartz, who simply wrote woohoo. David Schwartz, of course, the CTO of Ripple and a co-creator of XRP and the XRP Ledger, because everybody in this in the community, really, we understand that this is a damn good thing. But then there's Wendy O. And by the way, to be clear, this is not some sort of attack on here. I'm going to absolutely rip into her bad take. But I don't care who the human is that has the bad take. It's a bad take whether she says it or you say it or anybody under the sun. I don't care if it's your grandma that says it. I'm going to be just as fierce in my assertion that it's complete and utter garbage. The idea is. Doesn't mean that she's bad or wrong or stupid. And I mean, maybe she actually hates XRP. I can tell you, like, in years, I do know that she has said in the past, and this is just a bad take too, or maybe she does suffer from XRP derangement syndrome, but for years she has called XRP a banker's coin. And to me, that just doesn't compute. So that's typically a jab that, like, back in 2017, back in the day, the Bitcoin maximalists would say to jab at XRP holders, oh, it's the banker's coin, because Ripple wanted to use it as a bridge currency, obviously, even back then. And so it's the banker's coin. And then they'd speak out of the other side of their mouth and say, banks are never going to use it. I'm like, which is it, bitch? Banks are never going to use it, or it's the banker's coin. They couldn't figure it out. They never could figure it out. But they don't say that as much today because Bitcoin arguably is the banker's coin, because legacy finance, including banks, are broadly adopting it. And I'd say that's a good thing. So, but it's stupid. In a decentralized system, what does that even effectively mean? Nothing useful, I'd argue. It's a banker's coin because banks use Bitcoin. Okay. And they're adopting Bitcoin. Then it's also a Moon Lambo coin because Moon Lambo holds Bitcoin. These labels are meaningless effectively if you're talking about a decentralized cryptocurrency. It's not just for banks. It's not just for Moon Lambo. Anybody can use it. So you can say it's a banker's coin, but it's also a coin for the people. That's true of Bitcoin. That's true of XRP. So usually when people say crap like that, it's as a pejorative. It's as a pejorative to just offend XRP holders. That's what it's typically been used. And so she has said that in the past. I do know that. So I can't get in her heart. I can't get in her mind. Don't know. But she's disastrously wrong, and we're going to get to it right now. So again, she says XRP Ledger is no longer decentralized. Because of this amendment, the clawback thing, which is very good, it's no longer decentralized. Well, Neil Hartner disagrees. Neil Hartner is an employee at Ripple. And here you can see software engineer on Ripple Payments. And he wrote the following. Is Ethereum decentralized? Because USDT on Ethereum can be clawed back, and it's been a feature of Tether's ERC20 token contract for years. Right. So think about that. Is it the case that if there's such a feature, even though the overarching code which manages the entire system, which there's no single entity that controls, if there's no entity that controls that, if there's a parameter that allows for a participant to have privilege over a specific function, does that then mean the whole thing's decentralized? Well, of course not. You wouldn't say Ethereum's decentralized because of that, right? Because Tether and because of a clawback feature with Tether? No, you would not. Here's former Ripple employee Matt Hamilton responding to her, and he wrote, Wendy, please, this is completely inaccurate. This amendment has nothing to do with the decentralization of the XRP ledger. It simply means people can issue tokens, e.g. stablecoins, with clawback enabled if they wish. This feature has to be enabled when the token is created and issued. It cannot be retrospectively applied, i.e. you would have to explicitly consent to this. This is not much different to the clawback function that USDT Tether has had for the past decade on the Bitcoin network. I.e., if you think this makes XRP Ledger no longer decentralized, then by the same logic, you think the Bitcoin network has not been decentralized for the last decade since USDT was issued. So there, I guess nothing's decentralized, right? If this is a thing that makes it so that it's not decentralized because there can be a clawback for a thing, then nothing's decentralized. Do you see how stupid this is? Let me spell it out even further. So I had this post, and I shared this on X earlier today. And she said, yes, she's insisting that it's not decentralized, the XRP Ledger. And she says that's okay. Well, if the XRP Ledger were no longer decentralized, I would not think that's okay. Why would that be okay? That's not remotely okay. That's antithetical to what it is to be in crypto. It needs to be decentralized. Unless it's something specific like a stable coin, fine. But outside of that, no. So here's what I wrote. No, the clawback feature does not make the XRP Ledger centralized. The clawback feature has nothing to do with XRP itself, and XRP transactions cannot be reversed. This new feature does not change the decentralized voting mechanism that has been at the core of the XRP Ledger since inception. It also does not change the consensus mechanism for transactions on the ledger. In fact, If there were a central entity that could make it so that people participating within a distributed ledger ecosystem could not choose to create a tokenized asset with a clawback feature, that would indicate that the XRP ledger is centralized, but that's not the case. And so, folks, just to be clear, what I'm saying there is, if there were a central entity that could say, no, you can't have the clawback feature, that would be evidence of a centralized system. But the fact that a decentralized system full of 200 validators, over 200 validators, came to decide, actually, yeah, we do want this. We do want this. And I think it was 35 on the DUNL decided yes, and there was over 90%, I believe, that yes, we do want this. Well, that's a decentralized decision from a decentralized ecosystem. So of course, anyway, then I wrote, there is no central operator of the XRP blockchain, and everyone who chooses to participate in the ecosystem must play by the same rules. That is the very nature of a decentralized system, and you are clearly missing this very fundamental concept. With the XRP ledger, we have a decentralized system, and 80% plus of the validators voted for the clawback feature. And again, what I saw is it's over 90%. Again, didn't fact check that, but it's probably true. And then I wrote, that's how decentralized systems work. You seem to believe that a particular feature, the clawback, is a centralized feature on any blockchain, no matter how it is implemented. That's a shallow and incorrect perspective. Here is the most clear reason as to why you have very flawed logic. If creating a tokenized asset on the XRP ledger suddenly gave that issuer the power to have centralized control over XRP and the XRP ledger itself, then you'd be correct. Then it would make the entire blockchain a centralized piece of garbage. So folks, the fact that you can, if you're an issuer, you can claw back what you created, if that's just how you designed it from the get-go. If you doing that gave you power to control the rest of the XRP ledger, then it would be centralized garbage. Does it do that? No, it does not. You still have control only over that token that you issued. And then I wrote, however, sometimes in decentralized systems, participants have special privileges for certain operations that no one else does. And this does not mean the blockchain is centralized. And so, folks, let me be clear here. Wendy does not understand, and I go into great deal here, Wendy does not understand the difference between centralized control of a private tokenized asset and decentralized control of XRP and the XRP ledger. These are very different things. She doesn't get it, or she's being disingenuous. I don't know which it is. And so again, so then I continue and I wrote, for instance, if you own XRP in your own wallet, only you choose when and how to move it, use it, spend it, etc. Does the fact that you have centralized control over your XRP and your XRP wallet mean that XRP and the XRP ledger are centralized? Just because the rest of the network didn't agree specifically to what you are doing with your XRP? Of course not. And by the same rules of the decentralized XRP ledger, everyone accepts that reality. Same logic with the clawback feature. It's another instance where a single operator has special privileges, but that single operator does not have special privileges over the entire network. No issuer of a token that has clawback enabled has special privileges of the entire XRP ledger. And so, folks, I wrote this in italics to break it down further on the screen. This is key here. I wrote, you need to differentiate between certain network participants having centralized privileges over very specific operations, like, by the way, again, moving your own XRP, and the decentralized computer code that acts as an umbrella over it all. Otherwise, by extension of your logic, people having centralized control of their personal Bitcoin wallets is an example that proves centralization of the entire Bitcoin blockchain, which of course makes no sense. You can say there is a party that has centralized control over a issued asset. For instance, Ripple has specific privileges over RLUSD, their stablecoin, that no other party does, such as issuance of RLUSD. Does the fact that Ripple can unilaterally issue more RLUSD mean that XRP ledger itself is centralized? Obviously not. But that's another thing that only one party can do. The same logic applies to tokens issued with the clawback feature enabled. So while you can say issuers have central control over tokenized assets on the XRP ledger, you can't accurately state that there is central control over XRP of the XRP ledger, and thus the XRP blockchain itself is decentralized. You're not understanding this distinction, but you need to. By your logic, every blockchain that allows the creation of new cryptocurrencies is centralized. That's not remotely correct, though. I laughed when I saw your post because I 100% thought you were joking, and I thought it was a good joke. Then I found out from your additional post you mistakenly believe this, so I thought I'd chime in. You really do need to rethink this. And so we'll see if she does. I'm not optimistic, though. She just had an opinion. She didn't thoughtfully think through it with others, or she's just outright lying. It's got to be one of those, right? You guys tell me. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.